What's up YouTube, it's your boy Sturdy Code and I'm back with another video. In this video we are going to continue building our application and continue on with this series. In this episode I'm going to be building the backend portion of our application. So let's just jump to the video. The reason why me and Maya want to build this backend application is because we would want it to scale in the future. We can just call the API within our client, but we thought instead maybe it's better if we just make a whole backend service, and if we happen to scale, let's say we want music, TV shows, we can put that all in the backend and just have the front end display whatever is being sent back from the backend. So let's just jump in. So I already have a folder here and I already went ahead and created my token. So if you go to the movie DB and just check out how to make a token, then once you do that and set up your token in your environment, which is what you want to do, you want to export the token into your environment, or if you're uploading it into Heroku, put it into your environment variables. Go ahead and do that. So we went ahead and did that, and what I want to do now is just npm init in the folder that I've made, and let's just go through it because alright. So we went on through that, and now we have a package.json, and this just holds our metadata on what's in this folder structure, let's say. Alright, so we did that. So the next things we want to do is download npm or install npm install express. That's what we're going to use. And the next thing we want to do is install a wrapper that wraps around the MovieDB's API, and it's called the MovieDB version 3, I believe. Okay, and we want to save that. So let's see. So once this is installed, you'll see it right here. So we have express and MovieDB 3, right? Awesome. So we got that. So now let's make a new file, and let's call this index.js, right? And we want to have the express folder or library here that we just installed, and then we also want the MovieDB folder. How do I say the MovieDB v3, and then we want to init, so it has a method called init, and I'm going to pass my token. And I have my token there. You can do this by just going into your terminal and writing export the name of whatever the variable you want it to be. So I wrote token. So export token equals whatever the value of that variable is, and then you can access it by saying process environment.token. Okay, so we just went ahead and did that, and now we want to see if this app works, if this is working so far. So I'm going to say express, and I'm going to instantiate that function there, and then I'm just going to say node index.
Gotcha, bitch.
Okay, and then what I want to do really is say app.listen and say I'm going to give it a port. So in the future I'm going to upload this into Heroku so that Maya can use my backend service to get the movies that we want to get. So let's say const port equals the process.environment.port, so whatever port it is, or we're just going to use the localhost port 3000. So we're going to say port, right? And it has a callback function, and we're simply just going to say it works. So if that works, we see here it works. That's awesome. All right, so we did that. So now we want to go ahead and start our route. So app.get, which is the home route, and then we have a request object and a response object, And then in here is where we want to call the MovieDB's service or the wrapper here and get the movie that we want to get. So let's say the MovieDB dot search movie. The first parameter takes in a query. Let's search, since it's about people of color, African American, and this takes in a error or response, or should I say and response. And then down here, let's first send the response to see what we get. So we have here MovieDB search African American error and response, and we're just sending the response in the callback of this wrapper here. So let's go ahead and just do that real fast. So it works. So if we go to localhost 3000, we should get the response, which is awesome. So we get results. So it's in the results object, and it's an array of objects, and we get popularity, ID, video, counts, average, title, release date, original language, original title, genre IDs, which is going to be important to have. So we need these genre IDs because in the front end, the user is going to have to click on a genre or search for a certain genre, and these are identified by the numbers. So what we want to do now is parse through this response and get certain things that we need and get rid of the things we don't need. So let's go back here and say we want to have the title, obviously. What else do we want to have? Let's take the original title. I mean, they're the same here, but let's see if they're kind of different anywhere else. I think they're the same everywhere else. Title and original title. So we can just take original title because we original out here, you feel me? Okay, so let's take the original title just because it has the original in its string there. So we got original title, we got the overview, and we got the poster path. Okay, so let's see what we can do with the poster path. So we got those three things. Alright, so let's say, instead of sending a response here, what we're going to do is create a loop. So let's say response dot, so it's in the results object, results, and then say for each result, for each movie within there, we want to create an object. Let's call it object. And in this object, we are going to have the title, and then the movie is called original title. Then we have the overview, movie the original overview, and then we have the poster, which is simply called poster path. So we have those three things, which is great. Another thing that we're going to need though is the genres. Okay, so that's also important. So let's see how we're going to do that. If we go simply to the MovieDB, let's go to movie database. We're going to go to API, and we're going to go to the wrappers. So we are in the Node.js environment, and we're using this wrapper here. So if I go to search in the library, what I want to search for is how to get genres. Okay, so boom, genres, list. So it returns me a list of genres. Okay, so genre movies. So it's gonna return us, so we need a query for this. So what we really want is just the list of genres, basically, and what their ID is. So see how we're gonna do that. But first, since we have all this, what we didn't finish doing is having a object up here saying let object, let's say return response. Yes. Sure, yeah. We want it to be an array. The reason why we want it to be an array because we are going to push everything in the object and push it up there. And at the end of this callback down here, so the end is right after this, we want to say response.send return a response. Alright, so we check that out one more time. We should get a clean, nice, there we go. So we get the title, overview, and poster. So that is what Maya is going to grab and parse through. So now that is more neat. She doesn't have to get a whole load of data that she's not going to use. Everything that's being returned to her are objects, or yes, object and data that she's going to be able to use. Okay. So now we're back here in the genre. So one thing that's missing is the genre type, right? So what we want to do is basically have this search that searches for genres and gets back to us the type of genre that it is. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. How we're going to do that, I do not know. So it's just a callback that returns to us. So let's just see what it does basically. So it's genre.list and it's a callback. Okay, so let's see what it does. So TV genre list, and it's a callback, so it's just going to return. So all callbacks have error and response, and what we want to do is just say response, or let's just say console log dot response. Let's see what that gives us. Okay, so we have to call it one more time. All right, so boom, the ID gives us the name of the genre. So if we go back here, let me just comment these things out. So what we're gonna do here is just say, let's just say res.send response.results. So that's the object that the results are in, obviously. So let's do that. Let's go back here again and see that it's under the object genre IDs, and it's 35 for this one. So 35 is comedy. Okay, so now what we're going to have to do is take this response that we have and create another object called genres. So let's get this back. So we know now that it's under genre underscore IDs and it's an array. So let's take this off because we don't need this. And we're going to make another object called genre, or genres, because it can have more than one. I believe so. So some of them have none. Some of them have more than one. So genres. So what we're going to do is here is I would like to say just call this callback here. A problem with this would be that because it's the callback, it's going to be queued up until the function is finished. So there's kind of some synchronous operation here happening. For example, that's the reason why we put res.send down here. The reason why we didn't put it down here is because it's going to call this function here and get the movies, then send it once it's here. Error. So it would have been an error here if we said send it down here instead of within the callback. It would send us an empty array. Okay? So what we want to do is, what we can do is, so return object, so no, let's have this down here. We're pushing it. So what we're going to do here is make this an array, and then we're going to loop through the genres array. So we're going to say genres dot for each, let's call it genre. For each genre, there is a ID associated with it. So there's an ID and a name. So we're gonna say genre.id. Oh, first, we need to, for each of them, we need to loop through each of the current objects. So this object here that we made, or the, should I say movie, the current movie's IDs. So we're gonna say movie dot for, let's say, we don't want for each, because once we find it, we want to break out of it, and you can't really break out of for each. And I wanted to keep it ES6. Don't want to use map. Let's use, I was gonna say filter. Let's still go through everything. Let's just do a for I equals 0, I is less than movie genre IDs dot length I plus plus. So now we're looping through each of these. So we're gonna say if genre the ID is equivalent to movie dot genre IDs dot I. So if one of these matches, then we want genres dot what else would we say? Genres dot push, or no, should I say it's object dot genres dot push, and we're moving and we're pushing. What am I doing here? So for each genre and genres, right, we're going to be pushing genre dot name, and then once we do that, we want to break out of it. I'm not sure if this is horrible, which I pretty much know that it is, but once we break out of this, we also want to break out of the for each. I actually want to check if you can break out of the for each. You cannot break, so you cannot break, you cannot continue. So, for example, if I'm looping this for each, and I'm looping through each of these, and I find it, but yet there's still more, which, yes, we do want to do. We want to loop through each genres, should I say. So I know this is kind of confusing. Genre here means the object within genres array. So which is all of this stuff right here we see down here. And then we're looping through the movie's genres ID.length. And then we're matching the genre.id. So this ID is going to be equivalent to movie genres ID. And if true, we want to push genre.name into this object. And then we want to break out of it because we found it. If you guys know of a better way or a better loop to do this, please comment down below. But if not, then we're going to continue with this brute force. All right. So once we final that, it should continue. It should finish. It should be done. All right. So we push everything there, and then voila. So then node.index. Let's see what we get. Let's see what we get. Cross my fingers. All right. So we get it. So we get the title, overview, posters, genres of all the movies, and if they don't have a genre, then it should be empty. Correct. Awesome. So we got that. So that's the video. Hope you guys like it. In the next video, we're going to be connecting my backend to her front end and then showing you the results with the UI interface. If you like it, go ahead and give a thumbs up. Subscribe if you like what you're seeing. There's a lot of more videos coming soon. There's a lot of content. I'm behind, but there's no excuses. Let's get it. It's 30 cool.